Hello, I would like to show you my last plugin, pgcache, for Nextflow. So first of all, let me introduce the problem. Well, it's not a problem, but the idea, maybe the idea, no? Say we have a typical Nextflow hello world with 4 tasks. Well, one process will be executed 4 times, and the process will execute, for example, a Python uh, with the typical hello. So this, say we hello, will check if the argument is in a list, and if it's not in the list, it will fail, and if it's in the list, it will print the typical hello, and will exit OK. Okay. So basically, if we run this pipeline, as you can imagine, 3 of the tasks will be executed OK, and one of them will fail. No? Hello will fail always. We can run the pipeline and we can see obviously that one is failing and 3 are okay. So the idea of cache is that if I repeat this process, sorry, the idea is if I repeat this execution, Nextflow will try to repeat again and again all the tasks independently if they were executed. And if they were executed, okay. So for example, to avoid to execute the, the 3 tasks that finish okay, we use the let's resume argument. So in this case, it has executed 3 tasks and marked as catch, and still one of them is failing. So if we repeat again, these 3 tasks is not, in fact, is not executed because Nextflow see that they were executed, okay? So it reuse the files, okay? In this case, the speed is not very different because they are very simple Python. But imagine that the task spend more time reading files, executing something. So you can see the difference when it's in cache or not. Okay. So what this Nextflow in this case is stored in this directory. It is storing all the executing in this directory in a binary format. So for example, you can see in this database, okay, this is a small database, an internal database that Nextflow is using to record the execution of every task. So when you try to execute again a resume, it'll check this database and decide if some task is required to rerun or not. So these 3 tasks is not executed, in fact. Okay. Okay, so this is the idea of the cache. But it's not a problem, but the idea is that what happen if, for example, I will delete the execution. So imagine that you want to execute your pipeline not in your computer, but for example in a shared machine or in a virtual machine in some cloud. And you need to maintain this subdirectory. No? So there is a cloud cache plugin, official plugin, that is, this plugin used an S3, for example, an S3 bucket to store this cache. So you can use you don't lose the cache if your machine is deleted, for example, because it's stored in an S3. My plugin is the same idea, but instead to use a S3, I will use a Postgre instance. Say, for example, I have this Docker file, okay, and this is to create, I will up this Docker Compose, and right now what I have is a Postgre. Imagine that this Postgre now is running in my machine, but maybe this Postgre is running in some place in your infra. Okay, you have your user, your password, blah blah blah. So imagine that I can connect to this instance. Okay, now on the bottom I'm connected to the database, and we can see we don't have any relation. And now imagine that we can use this local configuration. In this local configuration, we will use our pgcache plugin, and we will use the configuration to use this instance. Okay, so I will try to run again Nextflow, but now I will use our local configuration using the pgcache. So basically, now as it's the first time that it's using this cache, still we have one of them failed, and none of them are reused because it's the first time that it's using the cache. As we can see in the bottom window, the plugin has created two tables, one index and one cache entry. So for example, we can run a select, and here you can see the session and the name. So for example, is extravagant, and we mark that this task was not in cache. If we resume again, if we execute again the pipeline using the same configuration, it will check, Nextflow will check this table and detect that three of them was previously executed and are in cache. So they will not execute again this task because it's in cache. And it is retrieving the configuration of everyone from this table. Okay, it's a big table with binary data where only Nextflow understands this. Okay, but the idea is that, as you can see, the idea is that you can use a Postgre instance different. No? For example, in this case, I don't have any cache directory in my machine, okay, because we are using this instance. If you don't want, or you can create a Postgre in your infra, imagine I will stop this instance, this Postgres instance. Okay. Another solution that you can use, for example, is only a suggestion, but it works. Is, for example, you can create an account. You can create an account in Supabase. I'm using the free account. When you create a Supabase account, you can create some kind of project. I don't remember the name. I think 5 projects. I have created a Nextflow cache project. Supabase give me this ID, and I can create, as you can see, it's clear. And we can create a similar configuration as previous, but this time I will use an Amazon instance that Supabase provides to me with the credential, the user and the password that Supabase gives me. The good point here is that you can use secrets from Nextflow, for example. Okay, so all this configuration is Nextflow native. So, for example, you can use params, secrets, or whatever. So let me run again the same pipeline, but in this case using the Supabase config. As it's the first time that Nextflow is executing this pipeline against this configuration, okay, one of them will fail, and we refresh our Supabase instance. We can check the plugin created these two tables, okay? For example, hungry Descartes was the name of the task. So if we try again against this configuration, Nextflow is resuming. 3 of them are in cache, so it's not executing again, and still one of them is failing. This is the idea of pgcache. It's not more complicated than this. Hope you like it. Let me know if you find this interesting, an interesting plugin, so I can create some documentation and try to publish a first release. Well, see you.